Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Patita Pavana Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribal, 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 Haribal. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Privajagacharya Ashtottara Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Prem Se Kaho Si Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Prabhupada Anuga Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nittai Guru Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7, Text 12. Ko Ghridyet Pandito Lakshmi Tripstapa Paterapi Yayaham Asuram Bhavam Nityo Adya Vubhideshwaraha. Please repeat. Ko Ghridyet Pandito Lakshmi Tripstapa Paterapi Yayaham Asuram Bhavam Nito Adya Vibhudeshwaraha. Ko Gridhyet Pandito Lakshmi Tripishtapha Paterapi Yayaham Asuram Bhavam Nito Adya Vibhudeshwaraha. Ko gridhyet pandito lakshmi tripishtabapaterapi yayaham asuram bhavam nito adya vibhudeshwarah. Kaha, who gridhyet would accept Panditah, a learned man, Lakshmim, opulences, Tripishtapapatehe api, although I am the king of the demigods, Yaya, by which, Aham, I, Asuram, demoniac, Bhavam, mentality, Nitaha, carried to, Adya, now, Vibhuda, of the demigods, who are in the mode of goodness. Ishvaraha, the king. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: although I am king of the demigods, who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Please repeat. Although I am king of the demigods, who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. O my Lord, I do not aspire for material opulence or wealth, nor do I want a great number of followers to accept me as their leader, nor do I want a very beautiful wife to please me. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahituki tvayi I do not even want liberation. All I want life after life is to be faithful servant of your lordship. According to the laws of nature, when one is extremely opulent, one becomes degraded, and this is true both individually and collectively. The demigods are situated in the mode of goodness, but sometimes even one who is situated in such an exalted position as King Indra, the king of all the demigods, falls down because of material opulence. We are now actually seeing this in America. The entire American nation has tried to advance in material opulence without striving to produce ideal human beings. The result is that Americans are now regretting the wholesale criminality of American society and are wondering how America has become so lawless and unmanageable. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31, Nate viduhu swartha gatimihi vishnum. Persons who are unenlightened do not know the aim of life, which is to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, both individually and collectively, they try to enjoy so-called material comforts. And they become addicted to wine and women. The men produced in such a society are less than fourth class. They are unwanted population known as Varnashankara. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, an increase of Varnashankara population creates a hellish society. This is the society in which Americans now find themselves. Fortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement has come to America, and many fortunate young men are giving serious attention to this movement, which is creating ideal men of first class character. Men who completely refrain from meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. If the American people are serious about curbing the degraded criminal life of their nation, they must take to the Krishna consciousness movement and try to create the kind of human society advised in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. They must divide their society into first class men, second class men, third class men, and fourth class men. Since they are now creating only men who are less than fourth class, how can they avoid the dangers of a criminal society? Long, long ago, Lord Indra regretted his disrespect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Similarly, it is advised that the American people regret their mistaken advancement in civilization. They should take advice from the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. If they do so, they will be happy, and theirs will be an ideal nation to lead the entire world. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnanathimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vitamtang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Vamshivadan Prabhu. Welcome. I am a little less energy today. Not doing very great. But reading the shloka has excited me. Ko Gridyet Pandito Lakshmim. Although I am king of the demigods who was situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. These are regretful words of Indra. Regretting good quality, retrospectively considering our action and seeing that we have done wrong and then regretting it. It's a type of purification. At least it's good that Indra has understood he has done wrong. First step. And then the next step is, I regret it. I shouldn't have done it. So this is a section wherein Indra, as usual, was busy watching a dance of Rambo, Kilotoma, Menaka and drinking Somarasa and lost to himself and his own gratification. And Brihaspati came, his guru. The demigod's guru stepped inside and he was lost in his own intoxication and watching the dance and enjoying and in gratification. Sense gratification is so absorbing that nobody can disturb you. That's the only moment when you have the maximum focus and concentration. Everything you always wanted to have in life with everything else is available to you during sense gratification. You're so focused. You don't need to be told to focus. It's very amazing. So obviously Indra was focused in his gratification. And Brihaspati stepped in, all for Indra's wrong times. He came at the right time, Brihaspati. And it didn't work out so well. Because he saw, wow, my disciple is very busy in gratification. And he wouldn't even look at me. This is not very good. So he stepped away, disappeared. And Indra came to know after that Brihaspati has come and he has left. And although Indra tried to search out for him so that I can ask, pardon, he was not available. In this way, Indra became very morose. And this is his reflection, that I did a mistake. Today they will wonder, what mistake I did here? I don't know, he came without notice. You got to take my appointment if you want to come. You got to tell me when you're coming. It's not my mistake. Today's world, so what's wrong? He came, he went. So why do you make a big fuss about this? That's how people will talk today. They have a justification and a rationalization for every wrong, uncultured activity with some type of good reasoning, according to them. But we are speaking about a highly cultured society, a culture of respect being present there. And we should execute that. And we should not be without feeling remorse about not executing it. The point here is not feeling regret, not feeling remorse. It's a dangerous thing. People rationalize, like I said, and don't feel. So what? So what? It's a very dangerous way to think. In society, I don't have value for cultural setup. You will see that everything is lost. And vanguards of society, people who are leaders, people who are leading human beings, they will always observe these things. They will always observe these things. Krishna told Arjuna, Yad yad acharati sreshta sattate vetarojana. One of the reasons he gave is, people are watching you, they'll do what you're doing. You're leading them, you're a leader, better act carefully. And then he said that even I am doing that. Even I am acting very carefully, although I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. I don't need to bother about anybody. But still, I do that. Name partasi kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana. I don't have any assigned work for me in all the three worlds together. I am the one who assigns to everybody else. Still I follow. Still I follow. So you also must. So we should follow. And Krishna followed and showed. When Narada came to his assembly, he immediately got down from the throne. He paid respects to Narada. He had him seated, washed his feet, gave him all the respects necessary. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is doing this. He is not saying that it's okay, I'm Lord. I hope you understand. I'm absolute truth. I spoke the Bhagavad Gita and I don't need to do this. That's my teaching to you. We didn't do that. He got down and did it because everybody is watching. You have accountability, responsibility in human society. Even if you are self-realized, even if you're God. Even if you're God. So, one thing, carrying out what we are supposed to. Indra is a leader, a very prominent person, very powerful person also. And he is expected to do certain things. And he knows it and he is regretting it. Similarly, there are certain things that we need to do in human society. We are not living in that society as of then, but at least we are living in the Krishna consciousness movement, in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And people look at us in a certain way. Whether they know or they don't know, if they don't know, they should get to know by how we do it. Right? If they know, all the more the reason that you should do it properly, because they know about it. And they'll check whether you do it or not. So what type of a society are you? They'll gauge you immediately, judge you, and put you in a slot in their head. So sometimes we need to do this. We cannot become prematurely transcendental. There's a saying in America that in the corporate ladder, you got kicked upstairs because of some favors, some good things that you did, everything. You got kicked upstairs. Means you don't deserve the promotion, but you got it. You got a position. Sometimes many of us are kicked upstairs. We may not be in a position where we can get respect from people in the outside world unless you're having a lot of wealth and position and money, mostly money and power. You're not respected. But by joining the Krishna conscious movement, some of us wear saffron cloth, wear kantimala, and exactly are in the position of gurus. So we elicit respect. We got kicked upstairs. Sometimes your qualification may not be befitting the title and the post that you have, may not be commensurate, but still you get respect. Why? People see you. They see you in saffron cloth. They see that you're worth respecting. You should be given respect. So the respect, sometimes you must understand, is for the post. May not be for you. May not be for you. But because we hold that post, and because we represent that culture of Krishna consciousness, you must do it properly. Even sometimes you may think that I am not up to the mark. Still, for the sake of the post, you must do it properly. There are two things here. One is your own internal qualification. Externally, the title that you hold, due to which reason you get respect. You should not conflate these things together. One, you should know you're getting respect for that title. You may not be getting respect for you. Because nobody knows you. Only you know you. Only you know you. Right? So, we should take respect for the title and do the necessary things that is needed in that title. It's a very important thing to know. I am as a sannyasi, wherever I go, people pay me obeisances. And it makes me feel very conscious of myself, sometimes a little embarrassed, especially when senior devotees pay respect. And then sometimes I'm in a conflict as how should I act, should I also? When I paid obeisances, one Grahastha said, Maharaj, you're a sannyasi, you can't pay obeisances to me. I said, oh, I'm sorry. So what should I do? How should I return something to you? So he told me, you must give siksha. You must tell me about Krishna. That's the title you hold. Your job is not to do the shortcut of paying obeisances to me, he said. Your job is to teach me about Krishna. I was very surprised. It was my early days in sannyas. And he told me, now you don't pay obeisances to me. I am respecting you and you must give me siksha. You must know about Krishna and you must teach me about Krishna. You must correct me and you must help me to go in the right way. So that time I understood what responsibility it is to hold a title. I may feel that I don't think I know so much about Krishna to any. That doesn't matter. You have to deliver. Go find out then. That's your job. If you don't know, go get it done. So one is the title. The next is because you get respect for the title, you want to move up and fill up that title properly. There's a Shakespearean phrase that says, like a dwarf in king's clothing. I don't know whether you've heard about this. I like that phrase very much. Like a dwarf in king's clothing. Chota fellow. Got a huge robe and a big kiridam on his head and a scepter and he's struggling with that. He's lost inside it. He is lost inside the crown and the robe and everything together. A very small guy. So sometimes you may have a title. You may be a dwarf for that title. It's very difficult to fill up the whole title. Right? Indra is genuinely regretting from two sides. Both for myself and in terms of my title. I am regretting. So we should not conflate this. One, we should accept the title because it's necessary, it's ordained, it's ordered on you. The next thing is you must live up to the title. That's your internal journey. That's your internal sankalpa. It's easy not to take the title, which means that I don't have to fill it up. You see this thing that happens? I'm just a simple devotee. I'm not this thing, and you can escape the title. Which actually means that I'm not also going to work to fill up myself within that title. It's not required. These are all the mechanics and the conflicts that happen inside in an organizational setup where your progress in spiritual life is also at stake. Sometimes people think that I don't have to be organizationally relevant or taking any position in that. And sometimes I will only focus on myself. But in our society, Prabhupada is talking about the Krishna consciousness movement and the American society. See how he's talking about titles. Talking about the entire Krishna consciousness movement, which is changing people, changing their insides. And he's also speaking about the entire criminality of the American society. Very strong words he uses. Wholesale criminality of American society. He's written this in the Bhagavatam. Finished for American society. Stated like an absolute truth. the wholesale criminality of the American society. And he has done his study very well. Because whatever America does, the whole world does. They follow. Everywhere. Whether it be China, Vietnam, anywhere, everybody wants to do what Americans are doing. We want to do what Americans are doing. We are all doing it. Unbeknownst to us sometimes. We may deny, no, I'm not American and all that. Many things we do. We like to do what's the latest thing up there. American society holds the title for whatever is avant-garde, cutting edge, the best of things in material society, in gratification and everything. What they do, they know. They make pioneering inroads into sense gratification of various types. And that's their job. Prabhupada saying it's destroying human society. Criminality of human society is perpetrated, pioneered by the Americans. It's a very strong statement made. So whatever they do, Yadyad Achariti Sreshtas Tattate Vetero Jana applies here also. What these guys do, American guys do, what Elon Musk does, whole world wants to do. They want to follow what he does. That's the way it works. One thing is the title and what you do in the title and stand out to people. The other thing is yourself. Prabhupada is saying, although American has done these things in terms of title and gratification externally, it's a hollow society. Human beings have not been produced there. Ideal human beings are not coming out of that society. Very strong statement he makes. And he says, after the Krishna conscious movement has come there, it has started producing ideal human beings in America. What a comparison, bro. American society is hollow, useless, and criminal. And I have come there. The Hare Krishna movement has come there. And the Hare Krishna movement is producing ideal human beings for America. So the Krishna conscious movement, it affords internal development of the highest order. And we should take that seriously. One is we should develop internally. The other is we should offer ourselves in title for the sake of the people of this world. These titles, institutions, labels, names are very important for the people outside. Very important. Bhaktisiddhanta Sasi Thakur was sitting in like a Babaji chanting so many thousands of names every day. And he was happy doing it. In the sun, rain or everything. He was in Puri, Jagannath Puri chanting. He was in Navadvip chanting, Mayapur. One fine day, he knew that this is not the way this is going to happen. How will people know if I sit down here and chant for myself? Which I am good at doing. People have to know. He donned sannyasi's robes. He put a tridandi danda in his hands. He took sannyas initiation in front of his guru's picture, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And then he started preaching like nothing. Aggressively he started preaching. He assumed a title. It's necessary to do this, otherwise people don't listen to you. But within that title, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur remained very humble. Very humble. Not that he was in a situation where he had to regret like Indra. He didn't have to regret. He conducted himself very well. And he preached Krishna consciousness. It's not that he didn't face any challenges. It was challenge all along. But he stood his ground, stood his title, did his, expected service, everything paka. So see, great devotee shows that, how to do it. So there are two things that I think is necessary to know. One, the title we have. And we should always know the respect is for the title. And if I am not up to the title, let me live up to the title and bring me up to speed. It doesn't matter. as long as you have a sincere desire. Prabhupada gave sannyas to many of the American disciples. He said, live it up to it. Come up to it. It's not that he was looking for perfect sannyasis or anything. He asked people to move up. When we accept these type of responsibilities, then we also move ourselves up internally. It's very important for us to know that. If you're a genuine devotee, then you must do that. You must accept the title. And you must actually live up to it, fill it up. At the same time, in our internal development, I understood another thing. In a Tirupati bureau meeting we had, there was Radhanath Maharaj coming quietly alone, chanting his japa to the lift. I had just arrived with my luggage and my assistant was standing in front of the lift. Maharaj immediately offered obeisances to me. As I was doing, then I told him, you don't have to obey. And I lifted him like that. He said, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. Just gave one answer. I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. He gave me a powerful answer. I didn't say anything throughout the lift. He was chanting and he was asking me how things going and etc. etc. But what was running in my head was, why did he say I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also? But then I went into the room and then later I understood that he said, seeing another Vaishnava, I want to pay obeisances. I'm not going to be tied up by the fact that I'm senior to you, I'm a senior this person, everything. You're another Vaishnava and I want to pay obeisances. I paid obeisances. Not to your title. You paid obeisances to the Vaishnava. As a senior devotee, maybe I don't have to pay obeisances to the title. But as a Vaishnava to Vaishnava, I like to pay obeisances to you. That's why he said, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. If that is the case, I don't have to chant Hare Krishna also. Very profound. So we need to also respect each other as devotees. Apart from the respect that we need to give each other for the titles that each one holds, which other people are watching, so I must do it properly. And not only for that, I must respect that position, like Krishna respected. Daksha didn't want to do that. Daksha also had a problem with titles and conflicts with the internal stuff. Shiva was solid Vaishnava. His Vaishnavism oozes out of himself in his behavior, in his disposition and everything all the time. He just kept quiet because Daksha is lost in titles. He's not very much bothered about the content and the substance. He was thinking, you are just my son-in-law, yaar. I'm your father-in-law. Stand up, respect me. Right? You were thinking, Lord Shiva is such a great devotee. He's very solid in his devotional service to Krishna. He not only found and pointed out that you're disrespecting me, he started all sorts of expletives he used against Shiva. He didn't control himself. And all the time Shiva kept very quiet, peaceful and composed. Because he knew what is happening. He was very solidly situated devotee. The same time when he exceeded the limit, when Daksha crossed the line, when his wife went there, was disrespected. I am disrespected, okay, yaar. Okay. You disrespect my wife also, purposely, because you are not able to hit me with the disrespect that you gave me, and you find that I am not affected. Okay, I'll affect your wife, then you will be affected. So he did that to his own daughter, who was a very toxic person. So Lord Shiva said, okay, now you need it. In a very composed way, he chopped his head off. He's sending his necessary emissary. He chopped his head off, and he was sitting very nicely under a big banyan tree with rishis and sages discussing Krishna. And all the demigods and Daksha with a goat head came and paid obeisance and said, very sorry we did this. You guys are all kiddish. You devas are all kiddish, childish. I'm not expecting anything great from you guys. So it is necessary to give you one whack. That also I did with cool, composed manner. I lost my wife and everything was still composed. This is the meaning of solid internal content. I'm not sitting on my title. I'm sitting on myself, on my own understanding. So oftentimes in our moment, sometimes it happens that the title gets conflated with the person and his content, or the content gets conflated with this, as we don't know how to do this or that. We should know we are persons in the Varnashrama society. Varnashrama Prabhupada used the word institution, the Varnashrama institution. In the Varnashrama institution, there is Varnashrama institutional oriented respect you should give to a sannyasi, to an elderly person, to your parents, to other people who are wise, to the Brahmana, to all of them. There are title oriented respect you have to get. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave respect to Ramachandra Puri, although he was so offensive. And he followed whatever Ramachandra Puri said, correcting his followers, saying, no, he has told me he is as good as my Guru. He is my Guru's god brother. So every day Ramachandra Puri would come, Lord Chaitanya would pay Sashtanga Pranam to him and ready to serve him. And everybody else watched. Wow, why are you listening to him? He's a very offensive man. No, he said, I'm overeating, I'm cutting down on my eating. Half of what I eat only I will eat. He said, you don't have to worry about him. He's just a guy who just goes around talking. No, he has told me that I'm overeating. And he followed it. And everybody was stunned at the way Lord Chaitanya was observing the culture of respect for Ramachandra Puri. Although everybody knew Ramachandra Puri was just waiting to find fault. He was a fault-finding Acharya. He was just waiting to find a fault. And he couldn't find a fault with Lord Chaitanya. But finally managed to find some ants and say, the sannyasi is eating sweets. He's hoarding sweets and he's eating sweets. Something like that. As soon as Ramachandra Puri left, everybody heaved a sigh of relief. And Lord Chaitanya, without mentioning it, started eating again. Full. Didn't say anything about Ramachandra Puri. Just by his behavior, he assumed normalcy. So, it is important to have the culture of respect. And at the same time, don't get carried away by the culture of respect that you get for the title, and you must execute the duties of that title. You must execute the duties of that title. Now, Joe Biden is no more President of the United States of America. He won't get, guarded, security-oriented transport from one place to the other. He won't get a super special flight with so many facilities, nothing. He has to buy his ticket. He has to stand in the queue maybe. Maybe they'll give him some more respect because he's ex-president of the United States. Some certain things he may be having. But he can't expect the same amenities which Trump is enjoying. Naturally. So a title brings certain types of amenities, comforts, respect, facilities, everything. We should know it is meant for that. Indra, he was enjoying his title with Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka and Somarasa, everything. He did not use his opportunity for respecting his guru. He got lost in his title. This is what happens. Now, some time back in the internet, there was this joke about a deity being made by a Shilpi. Very beautiful Krishna deity. So that Shilpi took it on a donkey to sell it from one place to the other, and then you go to the marketplace to sell it. But everywhere the donkey got obeisances. The donkey thought, my gosh, everybody is paying obeisances to me. So it stood in some places and brayed a little bit until the that move. Because they were all looking at the deity on the back and paying respects. But the donkey thought, for me, I never knew I was so good, yeah? Is there a halo around my head that I am not able to see? Are my feet touching the ground? Of course they are. Why is it everybody is paying respects to me? What's happening? And he went and everywhere in every village he crossed and all paid respects and all that. He was like thrilled. His hairs were standing on end. Maybe I've become self-realized. I do not know. He went there and the deity was sold. And after that, after a few whacks and a little grass given to him, he was asked to come back. And then on the way back, he said, why nobody's paying respect to me? And he started braying, bah! And he got 2 more whacks. So it was very, very funny, story that the donkey thought that everybody's paying respect to me. No, it's because of the Lord sitting on the back of you. It's like I go to Siveli in Guruvayur, that huge procession. The elephants are so huge and the deity is so small. It's just so small. It's very easy to think that everybody is paying respect to the elephant. It looks so grand, flapping its ears and the conch shell blowing and the capricin and everything. Wow, I want to pay obeisance to that. Any foreigner will say, what are you guys doing? I mean, that must be, you're paying obeisances to the elephants. It's a good chance that you can forget the Lord and pay obeisances. So, we should know how to discriminate and how also to do the duty that comes out of these type of positions that we occupy. You cannot remain artificially humble by saying, I don't take up this title, which is necessary. Amar Ajñai Guru Hoi Tare Desh. And here Lord Chaitanya is saying, Prabhupada is saying that we have an organization, the Hare Krishna movement, and our devotees, I am producing ideal human beings. He's using the word ideal human beings. And you should live up to that. Be ideal. And this is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. So, sometimes we should understand deeply and we should regret if you have done some wrong. We can always set it right by going to the concerned person and saying, I made a mistake like this. This is the point where a person becomes not only a good human being, but also a good devotee. Because I'm interested in correcting myself. I'm interested in achieving the goal of life. I want to be a pure devotee. You don't want to do anything that stands in the way of achieving that. And I'm sorry, because this thing for my welfare and for my progress is important. If a person is deeply interested in himself, false ego will never stand in the way. When real ego is in focus, false ego becomes insignificant. When your real ego of Jivere Surupa Hoi Krishnera Nitya Das is in focus, false ego pales into insignificance. But when that thing is not in focus, false ego becomes the most important thing. Indra is regretting it. Out of my polluted false ego, I didn't recognize Brihaspati. So, it's important for us to actually be situated in the understanding that I am a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. I must function, think, feel, will, and be in that consciousness, and operate and act in that consciousness. That is a solid position. When we are in that position, false ego cannot affect us. False ego cannot affect us. So we have to play that role, and we have to progress deeply with this understanding. Uh, in this way, we can act in Krishna consciousness, we can help the people of the world by acting properly, respecting properly, executing properly. Lord Chaitanya glorified Rupa Goswami, he glorified Haridas Thakur as persons who not only acted but also practiced internally what they acted externally. Achar and Prachar. He spoke highly. In Lord Chaitanya's Leela, Brihaspati becomes Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he played an amazing role in being a person who is like an impersonalist and who accepts Krishna consciousness and is in great ecstasy. But in this role here with Indra, is in the role of a guru, a teacher, and he's teaching Indra by becoming aprakat, disappearing from him. And Indra, being a good disciple, is learning very nicely. I made a big mistake. Everybody is going to suffer because of this. And because of this mistake, many series, it's a domino effect. And many other things happened. Then he'll be advised by Brahma. Brahma will chastise the demigods and Indra. Why did you do this? Very bad behavior, not acceptable. Then he'll say, give you one solution. You can ask Twashta's son Vishwarupa to do the sacrifice. And Vishwarupa had other inclinations. He had little extracurricular activity that he did, offering a little bit to the demons, and which Indra did not like. He didn't like that extracurricular activity. It's very dangerous for me. He chopped off his head in a fit of rage. And he did Brahma Hatya. One leads to the other, you see. One offense leads to the other. It's not that I'll do the sacrifice, everything will become all right. Something else happens there. Then he's afflicted with reactions to Brahma Hatya. And then he transfers those reactions to other people. To women, to the earth, to water, to the land. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Everybody suffers because of the offense of Indra. Everybody in this world has suffered because of the offense of Indra. So the Bhagavatam describes that. And then he hides himself here and there. So many things happen to him. It's not easy. It's not easy at all after that, the repercussions that he went through. So it's better that we are careful and don't do it. In a community of devotees, these are very important lessons. We should not take it easy. We should not normalize things and like a sahajya, say, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. I mean, if that's okay, that's the type of standard of devotion you will get. That's okay for you because that's what you deserve. That's okay for you because that's what you deserve. But Indra is thinking that I don't want to be in that level. I don't want to be in that level of normalized, low-class sort of devotional attitude. I want to be getting the best. In this way, you'll see that he's regretting and he takes action. So I'll stop here. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any question, comments or reflections? Prabhu want to comment anything?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think the volume is...
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. That's okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj. So thank you very much for a very insightful class on this topic of accepting titles, but at the same time focusing on the internal development. And you made this very amazing, beautiful statement that the Krishna consciousness movement affords internal development. And so, as we are trying to progress in our Krishna consciousness, so definitely we do understand that the internal development is very important. At the same time, we have our lifetimes of material conditionings and sanskaras and impressions. And so, as we are trying to develop internally, there is also the struggle, and sometimes we fail to come up to the standard, and we may regret. There could be some rectificatory measures taken, but then again, because of the previous impressions, we may commit mistakes again. And so the struggle continues. So, how to come up to the ideal standard and avoid committing the mistakes, and at the same time going ahead with our other responsibilities. So, how should we come up to the standard of internal development as the years go by? Hare Krishna.
Well, welcome to the world of Hare Krishna. You very nicely put it across. We are all sadhakas, which means that you've been a tussle, in a conflict, and in a situation where you have to constantly make decisions, constantly control yourself, constantly control your thoughts, mind, senses, and all that, and execute Krishna consciousness. That's why it's important to have good association, thoughtful, mature discussion on the content in the Bhagavatam given to us by Prabhupada, using our intelligence to digest this type of knowledge, and understanding our position, having a realization of where I am in the whole matrix. This is where I am. I need to move to here. What I need to do. There should be open discussion of this. This is the meaning of Guhyam Akyati Prachati. Confidentially, by my knowledge and understanding, getting to know, and then asking of help. And we should help each other. Not thinking that, oh, I am higher than you in the matrix than you. That's false ego. Then you've destroyed everything. But knowing that everybody is at different levels, each one discovered Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. There'll be at different positions, but they're all good. Because everybody has a good intention to make progress from wherever they are. That is the sterling quality we should look for. Everybody is interested in moving ahead and making progress in Krishna consciousness from wherever they are. That is the flaming spirit. If a person has that fire inside, then he will go ahead and do anything that's necessary. So you won't find everybody on the same level, obviously. And we have to live in a sadhaka institution. Sometimes people criticize us for that. But what to do? We should accept where we are, accept that our society consists of members like that. And doesn't matter, we can work it because the solution is there in your hands. You have the means, the way, the marga, by chanting together, by doing Harinam Sankirtan together, by doing Seva together. We have to tolerate each other also. And we have to look at the greater, more important thing of becoming Krishna conscious, helping the world to become Krishna conscious, satisfying Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's mission, satisfying Lord Chaitanya, Krishna. For these principles we should function. We should not become morose if there is a little time it takes to cure ourselves of certain types of difficulties. That Prabhupada also mentioned. What is the use of getting morose? better you spend your energy in trying to set things right in the association of devotee. The association is very important. If you have association of people who don't materialize their Vaishnava association, but stick to keeping it on a spiritual level, on a very relationship mature level, without stooping down to organizational type of politics or other types of things and spoiling the rich opportunity for interrelationships, then there is great progress, because the organizational success will be a byproduct of the deep internal success of everybody in the movement. That's how it should be. The organization success is simply a byproduct of your internal progress. This is what Prabhupada wanted. He did not set up the organization to become the forefront of everything and you put everything on the back side. So it is very important for us to understand that. It's a very important question you posed. And there's a dynamic to it. Living in the association of devotees, tolerating their material infirmities, their differences, this and that, paying less importance to it, paying more importance to their devotional service and the association and the discussion of Krishna and the Hari Kirtan. In this way, we will make good progress. And that definitely requires good amount of maturity, both material maturity and spiritual maturity. And if you don't have it, you will simply suffer. And you learn it out of suffering. Everybody goes through the learning curve, because there's no other way than this way. Yeah. Any other question or comment? Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nittai Gur Premanande.